Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm here with another junk journal video for you, and I'm making tags today. I'm using book pages and these tailor-made tags. So these are these lovely stitched tags from the new annual catalogue, and this is what I made. So I thought I've had a little play with making a tag with a pocket and cutting one of the other tags to fit in, and I thought that was quite cute. And here's one that I also decorated using just some scraps that I happened to have lying around and in my little scrap box, which I've created and sort of sits under my desk. So let's get started. I've also got this lovely feather that I also cut out of book pages. So it's mainly book pages that I've used, a little bit stamping with the Meta stamp, and I thought on this one I might add some die cuts. So that was my thoughts. Oh, there's some other stuff I've been playing with. So I have used book pages. So this book is it cost me £1 from a charity shop. I think I've managed to rip off the front. Oh no, I haven't ripped off the front page, it's there because it was nice colour. I think it's from the 50s. It's not that old. Well, that's fairly old, isn't it? 56 is when it was made. In the papers, quite thick, quite robust. Sort of some vintage books, they're a little bit more fragile, but these ones are pretty good. But having said that, I've glued some together. So I've already pre-done this. So some of these are 2 sheets. That's 2 sheets. That's 2 sheets. I think that's 3 sheets. These are definitely 3 sheets. These are they're now more like cards. So I like book pages because if you're like me and you buy lots and lots of old books from charity shops and you use the covers for things, that you end up with masses and masses of book pages. So it is a good way of creating ephemera for your journals that really not costing you much. £1 to pay for the whole lot. So yeah, so that's what I decided to show you and play with today. So what I did was I cut out from the page, I cut out a tag, and then I cut it a second time and just cut the top. So I'm gonna get that cut, and I might do one in the different style actually as well. So I'm gonna get them cut out and then I'll show you how we did it. So I cut a tag each. Appear to have dropped that one. Never mind, I'll pick it up. And then to make the pocket, so I've just cut a partial tag, and then I'm just going to put the die back on, and you can feel where those little the notches, they kind of stick back in, and so I'll run that back through on my die cutter, and you can do the same on that one, and you can just feel where it locks in place, and then we'll cut them out as well. So that's them. Pick that one up, I did drop it. So that's them, that's it done. So you can see, I bought a new iPad, and so I can see what I'm filming, but it's sideways. I'm not sure if there's a way to do it so it's not sideways, but anyway, that is what I've managed to do so far. So I quite liked the fact that I could see what I was doing, because sometimes I do go out shop, so I thought that was quite cool. And my other iPad was so old that there was no way that was gonna, just doesn't mirror at all. And one of the other things that it's a method from years and years ago. So if you put the die back in, I'll get my old catalogue that I use. A scrap that's managed to come out now. There we go. I'm using my cinnamon cider. I get a blending brush, which I managed not to bring to my desk, and with it still in place, do a bit of inking. Not going to see the bottom, but just thought I'd show you the process. Then you get that nice effect there, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's do it with the other one as well. There it is. There's my tag. And the other nice thing about this die set is that you can cut the reinforcers as well, which I think I'll do. I didn't do it on the other one, but I think I will do it on this one. So, quite liking that. And then we can of course add it to this, lock it in place, and we can do a bit around the edges here and around the top. There we go. Just away from donkey's years ago, that it's one of those techniques I just forgot about, and then I remembered. So I'll probably do a lot of this now I've remembered. There we go. So I think that's a really nice effect. Just something different to do. And then I'm going to stick these on top of each other. You could sew. I did think about that. I thought, oh, I could sew, couldn't I? But I'm just going to stick. But one thing I'm going to do first is just with my bone folder, just sort of stretch the paper a little bit, sort of breaks up the fibres a little bit, just so it's slightly easier for putting things in and out. And then I'm just going to take a little bead of glue. This is Tombow glue that I decant into one of these so that it's got a really small needle, so I get a little bead. I've just filled it so it's a bit lively. I like Tombow because it sticks really fast and really strong. A little bit of oozing there in the corner. I've been doing a lot of gluing and inking, so my fingers are well and truly inkied. I've had a couple of days off. Well, it's been the weekend, and I tend to, I'm going to craft, but I craft not for making videos. I craft for utter pleasure, even though all crafting's utter pleasure. But so yeah, I was playing. There we go. So that's that ready with the pocket. And so then to go inside the pocket, I can't find the one I made. I just cut smaller tags to fit inside. So I went to the next one down. Yep. So the next one down of that to go in there, and then we'll cut the next one down of that to go in there. And I'm going to cut, I'm going to cut the reinforcers. So we've got some reinforcers there to go around the tag. So I'm going to cut some of those. I've got some of the edging here, which is what I'll cut them out of. I think that will make nice reinforcers. If I don't like it, then I'll cut them out of cardstock. So I'm going to get these cut out. That one's the 3, I think it's quite thick. So I'm going to use the one where I've just done 2 together. And I'm going to get them cut out. And then we'll get to decorate them. So that's them cut out, and then the reinforcers as well. It's quite handy that it cuts multiples out at a time. I think I'm going to do that inking again because I really liked that. I think it gives a nice little little effect. So let's stick our hole reinforcers on. Glue around the holes. I did this the first time I did it upside down. There we go. I'm not inking these because I quite like them being this colour so that they stand out. I know when I first saw this I thought, it doesn't take a minute to make hole reinforcers. I don't see why that's necessary, but actually it's really handy. And if you're running through the die cutter anyway, then it's actually really quite quick to do. So it is a nice little addition. That one's not standing out because I just realised I didn't ink the back at all. But it doesn't matter. I might not put the backs on the other ones. You probably won't see the back because I've got a feeling I might stick these down on the page. So that's the basics done, and then it's just the fun of decorating however you like. So that will go down there, and that one will go down in there. Might have glued that just a tad. Yeah, I think that might be better. I think it needs, once it's got some more stiffness, this probably would have been better actually. Done stiffer, that's what I did in the first one. Right, I'm going to stick some more layers on it so it will actually be stiffer. So what I used on the back of this one was the brown paper from the outside of boxes. So this is proper using junk. So I've done this in a previous video where I show you how I took some corrugated cardboard apart and got all the different layers off it, and I thought this paper would be quite nice on the back of a tag for journaling, was my thoughts. So I'm just going to get a bit of a ruler to give me a bit of an edge there. That's quite a nice shape. That could be used for something. So I'm gonna go down to about there. Do love me rip and stick. Oh, I like that. It's already got an edge there. So go there. I do like the non-measuring, the non-precise rip and stick nature. And then we've kind of got lines on it, which is quite good if you want to have those to follow, so you can write on them. So quite like that. Want to do a little bit of, let me put my glue lid back on because that'll dry and then I won't get it out. I like to do a bit of inking around the edges. Got a new dauber. Don't know if you remember, but I had totally flaked the last one, and I would probably still be using it, except I can't find it. So it was like, oh well, good time to change. I might put a bit extra over that top so that the hole reinforcer will show up a bit better. There we go. Not really going to do anything more than that. So I'm going to switch to colour glue now, because that adds a bit of extra sturdiness, and it's like your paper's going up, GSM's making it thicker. There we go, so that's quite a nice little back to it, and I'm going to put my little hole reinforcers around the top. So that's quite cool. I might do a bit of stamping. The quite made it stamp set. I really like that. I thought this is perfect for journaling. I love this sort of faded typing there, and I love that splatter. So I've got that mounted, and thought we can do a bit of stamping. I'm going to bring in this old book page actually, and I might use that as a scrap mat, and then it might then make some interesting marks on it. Yeah, just little subtle marks, that's all I want. I'm going to put some across the front, even though I'll probably cover this with things. But, oh, that's quite nice on top of the hole reinforcer. Oh, having a bit more of that. Yeah, like that. Right. So, I say when I did this one, I was very mindful to not put too much bulk on there so that it could slip in and out really quite easily. So we don't want too much obstructing that. So I wanted to try out the these dies and see if I could cut some of these out. I've got a couple that's already cut out just to sort of try them out for size. Yeah, I think they'll work. Actually, do you know, even that colour there, Mossy Meadow, looks quite nice, doesn't it? It does, but my thoughts were to cut it out of, just trying it out for size, so now I know that works. I was going to cut them out and then colour them. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use the book paper and I'm going to cut out some of these, and then I'm going to blend ink over the top. That's my idea. So I'm going to get them cut out. So those are cut out. I cut that one towards the top of the page so that it's got a bit more white in it, so that when I blend some ink on there, it might show up a bit better. Get this one out. There we go. Nice little labels on there as well, which I thought might look quite good. Right, so let's move these out of the way. So I am going to go for subtle. I'm going to go for petal pink. Right, that one's got pink on it. Brush off some of that darker pink. Might go on better with a dauber. Soles. Oh, hangs it straight in the pad. All right. Just think that this might work better with 3 thickness book paper for doing this. There, that's going on quite nicely. Okay, that's only a bit subtle on there. Right, so now let's have a little bit of green now. Oh yes, I like that. I think think that's looking okay. So I'm gonna think about how this is going on before I do the other. A bit of this. This is a bit of book page, the plain end. Yeah. Not quite liking how that looks layered up. Might put a bit more stamping on this. So there's still a bit of ink on here. Might just there. Perfect. Yep, liking that. Right, so let's get them stuck on. So that was what I was going for. Quite liking that. Quite liking that, I am. So now we've got a bit more stiffness in that tag. It pushes down quite nicely. So we just need to decorate this bit. So I'll just leave that to dry a little bit more whilst we sort this one out. I think going with kind of the same sort of idea. How cool do they look? I think they look pretty good. Pretty good. Liking them. What I like to do, stick my acrylic blocks on top, make sure they are proper stuck down. Right, so now I've got to do a little bit on the front here and a little bit on the back there. And I've got that feather, which I quite like using. That's what I've used before, especially when you use it on the book pages that are like 3 thickness deep. They come out really well, and I quite like it on the bit that's just got the sort of like the creamy bit. So I might cut out a couple of those. This little label here, quite like. We've got a butterfly in this set as well, so I might try the butterflies. Got a half butterfly as well, so I might cut a few of them out, just so I've got little embellishments for going on top there. So I'll get them done. Oh, and I just remembered I've got to stamp before I do the label. I've got some of the scraps from where I've been cutting out before. So we've got love, which fits in this label nicely, and I thought the kind would as well, and I thought that would be quite nice. So I'm going to stamp both of those. So I've got to do some masking on this. So I'm going to take a bit of washi This is rubbish washi. It's hardly sticky at all, but perfect for masking when stamping, and also for holding dies on a die cutter as well. So that works a treat. So yeah. Ooh. So I'm gonna do a love up there, so that can cut out. Might do a couple, and then we want a kind. So that's it. Do it again. There we go. That'll be grand. So I'll get them cut out, and then we'll get on with finishing it off. Right, so I've got all those bits cut out, and I remembered I had like things that I think are the centre of the butterflies. I'm not sure. They look kind of maggot-like, really, but they do go very well in the centre of the butterfly, and I used a bit more of that cardboard box covering there. Thought that would work. So, got me feathers, got me butterflies, got me labels. So let's stick the dice on the magnetic sheet there. So these are my little labels. So they turned out well. I cut 4. There it is. There we go. So I think they'll work well on the tag. Got some feathers. Some got bits of the words in. So you can see that they emboss really well, and you can sort of go over in the ink with them to pick that up. Then we've got our butterflies. I did some with partial covering of words and some fully. Quite liked that. And then my half butterflies, which I quite liked that on my half butterflies, the sort of body bit, I got some words on. I quite liked the fact that that one ended up with kind. That was a bit of a fluke. So I need to stick these centres on the centre of the butterfly. So we'll get them done first, and we can decide where they're going. So that's my butterflies. Quite liking how they're turning out. A little bit of ink in, and we'll be sorted. So going to bring them all in for a bit of inking. So that's them all done, and I was thinking I might add a little bit of colour to my butterflies. Thought that might be quite nice. Might go for a little bit of purple, a little bit of Highland Heather. Just have something a little bit different on the edges of these butterflies, because I did think I might stick it on top here with the flower. So I want a hint of some colour, want a bit more. And the other thing I thought about was putting some sort of age spots, so I thought this splatter would go well, and I might do some soft suede splatters. I'm liking how that's turning out. So now we can do second generation on the front. That is really adding something to that, I think. Stick some on here. Not showing up too much on here, but that's okay. Just a little bit of subtleness in the background there. Liking that. Getting a bit more on there. Right, so, ooh. So if I put the butterfly on there, I can have love maybe on there. The back of these, I'm going to use, I have my other one here to help me remember how I did it. So I just did a simple bit of music and a feather on the back. Not even sure if I need anything else but the feather with these, although quite like the way the other one turned out. Might use a bit more of this paper to break it up. I used a bit of cheesecloth as well. Quite like that. And I'll just soften it up with a bit of cheesecloth. I might rip this down a bit. That looks quite a lot there. A bit of cheesecloth. This has been tea stained. I just love the way it looks on things. Yeah, I think that works quite well. These can go in my pot of ready-made little bits to chuck on when I'm making clusters or collaging or whatever. So they need a little bit of inking. So that's them all stuck down, and I'm really quite pleased with how that's turned out. Trying to catch the light there. And that one, and that's the back, and then that's my little tag pockets, which I've wanted to make them into, you know, removable tags for journaling. You can easily put on the back of that the same as that, but I might stick them on a page. I haven't decided. So I've got this braided linen trim, which I thought would be quite good as the fastening. So thought it would go really well with the colours. There we go. Pull that through, and what I like about this thread is you can kind of unpick it a bit so it sort of frays. Which is a nice look to have, I think. So that's that. Go in there. Oh, maybe I could stick that down a bit better than I have. So yes, let's move that one out of the way. So let's see if I can manage to do this slightly easier. And that's them done. So, hope you like that. I hope it now makes you think about different ways, another way of using a book page. Just use it solely for making the tags, making the pockets, and even die cutting and making embellishments. So apart from the dies, that basically cost me nothing. So yeah, hope you like that. I will have all the links to my shop down below where you could purchase anything that I've used today. And well, apart from the stuff that these ribbons might not be available anymore, can't remember. And yeah, and I'll have some close-up pictures, and I'll add that to my stash of things that I'm going to use later, or I might even put one in my loaded pocket that I'm swapping. We'll see. Okay, thanks for joining me. See you again soon.